Hi, bestie. Welcome back to Girl House. If you're watching on YouTube, you can probably already tell that there is no split screen this week. It's still just me. Celia's equipment finally came in, but not in time to record for this week's episode. So she will be back next week. She had just been waiting on her podcast equipment, but it got here like in the mail at night, not during the day. So she's definitely already asleep. It's midnight her time. So I'm excited to have her back, but it is just you and me this week for one more Girl House solo ep, and then Celia will be back in the Girl House on the Girl House pod. I did a little Q&A on Girl House pod again, asking what we should talk about this week, and someone said how to be less negative, especially in the state of the country right now, which I definitely don't have advice on how to be less negative about everything going on because it is so scary. But so I don't want anyone to take this episode like I'm like saying this is how you should deal with the state of our country, because I don't really have any good advice for that. But I do have advice on how to be less negative in general, so I thought we could do just like a positive episode. I also know like it's getting to be the middle of winter, which is a lot of times when seasonal depression starts hitting, so thought it would be fun to do a little, episode on how we can all be less negative, because I've been negative lately too, and I want to get out of that mindset, and I'm like kind of working on that myself so we can be on this journey together. But before we get into that, let's do updates. So we're doing updates when it's just me, because usually Celia and I are going back and forth. But first of all, I'm a little sick right now. I have a cold right now. I'm starting to feel a little better. I'm just like really mucusy, but I've been trying to sleep it off, and I've been drinking so much Gatorade, which is not the same as Gatorade. I mean, it's by Gatorade, but it's like Gatorade's version of Pedialyte, and it is magic. I swear, it makes you feel better. Like, it makes your sickness go away faster, and like I do not have hangovers anymore. My trick is before bed, I make myself chug a Gatorade. This was like Celia and I like discovered this year, or I guess last year. And I don't get hungover anymore. Like I was getting like such bad hangovers, and now I just drink a Gatorade before bed and I wake up feeling fine. If you still wake up feeling not great, then sometimes I'll have to have a second Gatorade, but like 2 Gatorades like will cure anything. So really, really recommend. This video is not sponsored by Gatorade yet. Maybe one day we'll have Gatorade as a sponsor. That would be like seriously epic. But yeah, state of the country. I mean, January 20th, scary, weird, sad, disgusting day. It had the chance of being like a happy, positive, bright day, but obviously with the way the election results went, it wasn't. And I wish I like had some words of like comfort or something to say about everything going on, but I'm just like really disturbed and sickened by everything. And I honestly, like, this episode will be about being like less negative, but I don't have anything positive to say about who our current president is or what the future of our country in the next 4 years is looking like. I just will hope that he doesn't cause too much destruction, but yeah, it's definitely scary. So I hope you're all doing well with that as well as you can, and I'm sending everyone love right now, and hopefully it will all be okay, but it's already looking really not okay. So I don't really even know. I don't really feel like I have any good advice on how to deal with what's going on or really provide any comfort to what's going on, other than like I'm with you and I'm disturbed as hell too. And yeah, definitely not great. Also, speaking of TikTok ban, that was crazy. What was it, Saturday that they banned TikTok? Yeah, Saturday at like 9 p.m. Or maybe no, I think it was like 7 p.m. over here. My TikTok stopped working, as I'm sure it stopped working for so many of you. And it was just like, I actually shed tears. Like I was very upset, not even just like about like the app leaving, but it's just like it felt so insanely emotional because, like I was saying last episode, TikTok just really changed my life. And like I made this like video that made me emo. Like I went all through my TikTok and found like when I just started in 2020, and I just like grew so much on there and shared, like, it's just been there for me for so long as such like a positive outlet for the most part, where I can like feel free to just like share everything. And it just, I feel like I grew up so much on TikTok, and like I know a lot of besties in Girl House like grew up on TikTok with me too, and it's just crazy to see like how we've all changed. I was just feeling really emotional about the app leaving. Obviously it's back now, but that was definitely an emotional roller coaster. Also, I woke up on Sunday morning and I was just like trying to scroll on Instagram Reels, and it was just not the same at all. I was like, what the hell do I do? I was like trying to sit and rot in bed, and I literally like got up and didn't rot because there was nothing for me to do except I tried to watch like YouTube, and I love YouTube videos, but it's not the same as like the morning TikTok scroll, which is a habit I'm trying to kick, but it's nice to have the option to scroll on TikTok. So anyway, I'm glad TikTok's back, but I think it's very obvious that was like Trump's way of making himself look good, because let's not forget, even though like when the app came back and it like said like something like thanks to Trump or whatever, he is the one who brought up like the idea of banning TikTok in the first place in 2020. So, and now he gets to say like he saved the day and saved TikTok. So I think that was definitely a very obvious tactic to try to make him look good, and that does not win him even any slight brownie points in my book. I still think he is disgusting. So I'm glad TikTok's back, but I will give no thanks to him because, yeah. Other update, exciting update, small update, but Ducky, like, I don't know if you have a dog, let me know if your dog does this, but Ducky, he like likes to dig at my sheets. Sometimes it's like to make himself comfy and like make himself a bed, but other times it's because he likes to put like his bone under the blankets and then like dig and like try to get it. And he put 2 massive holes in my favorite sheets that I loved, like the sweet pinstriped blue sheets I've had since I moved here. I was really bummed about that, and I am gonna, I think, reorder the same ones. But in the meantime, I have been like looking for so long for like sweet blue floral sheets, and I was looking on Amazon, but so many of them have mixed reviews, and I like to be able to feel them in person if it's not like a brand like Brooklyn, and like I trust so much, love them, like I don't have to worry when I order sheets from them. But like random brands on Amazon, I'm like, I wish I could feel them. So anyway, I went to Target, and I think this is by the brand Threshold. I think, don't quote me on that. But I saw these sheets. I don't know if you're watching YouTube if you can see them. I'll link them on my Instagram stories in the next few days. But I am obsessed with them. They are so sweet. They're little, I don't know if it's like roses or what kind of flowers, but they're blue. It's exactly what I was looking for. Blue floral sheets. And I was nervous because they felt like softish, but like I didn't know how comfy they'd be. But after I washed them, these are such comfy sheets. Like I'm so excited to sleep tonight. And they were $50 at Target, which I feel like is pretty good for a sheet set with a top sheet, a fitted sheet, and 2 pillowcases. At least compared to like other sheets I've gotten in the past. And they're really, really nice and really comfy and feel really good quality. So if you're looking for blue floral sheets, like I have been for so long, go to Target because these are really, really good. And I'm very excited about them. My last update is I am still on the house/apartment hunt. I don't know what I'm going to end up. Obviously, like with Ducky, I do think a house is a better idea. But I do also want to pay a little less than I've been paying. Like the past like 3 years, I've been paying like a disgusting amount in rent, and I just am getting to the point where I'm like, I want to buy a house one day, and I want to start like saving more and paying less in rent and saving more so that will go towards a house. So I'm trying to find something that costs a little less. I still want to stay in Venice or very close to the Venice area. But yeah, I'm looking for a house, and there are houses that I still like are in my price range. Like they're just like far and few, so it's making the search harder. But I still have a little over a month to find a house, and I am kind of like more open to an apartment, just even like living alone, safety, like feeling safe. I love this house so much, and I do feel very safe here, and I have like a lot of security cameras, and it's very like gated, but it's still like there's just like a different feeling of security when you have someone who shares a wall with you. And there's so many aspects of like sharing a wall that I don't miss at all, but there are some nice things about that too. But I don't know how Ducky would handle it, because he is such a barker whenever he hears like anything. So I don't know. I either want to find like another house like this one where I feel like I wouldn't be leaving this house if Celia hadn't left, but with Celia leaving, it will just be like obviously way more expensive because I won't be splitting the rent with anyone, and I do not want to like pay that much. So like I feel very safe here, and I love it here. So if I could find another place like this where I genuinely feel like very safe, then I will move into a house. But otherwise, I'm also like now broadening the search to apartments. And I looked at actually a really nice apartment on, was it last Sunday? It was like really nice inside. It was like 2 bedrooms, nice kitchen, nice lighting. Like it was no complaints about the apartment at all, but it was in a weird area kind of. It was like further outside of Venice, and kind of just like what I love about my neighborhood is it just feels so nice to like go outside, go for a walk, go get a coffee. Like I love everything about Venice. And like I was like thinking like maybe I'd move out of Venice a little bit, but when I got to this apartment, I just like really felt sad that it wasn't in Venice. And then the girls who were like moving out as I was like viewing it, they were like, oh, we're switching places because we're moving to Venice. And that just like felt like a knife in my heart. And I was like, no, I want to stay near Venice. So definitely goal is to stay near Venice. And I'm actually viewing another place tomorrow that is technically an apartment, but it's like it looks like there's only like 3 units, and it's like very small, and I really like the area it's in. So I'm looking at that place on tomorrow, and I feel like I'm in like a house hunters up. That one is like very under budget, but I'm not sure if it has laundry. And unless like I found like the perfect place, I don't know if I could do no laundry. Oh, and my heart was broken because maybe I saw the apartment on Saturday, and then last Sunday I saw actually like the cutest house ever. It was a guest house technically on someone's yard. And I know I told you last week, like the guest house I viewed, weird vibe because it was like in someone's backyard. But this one was so nice because you like walk in, it's first, and then like the main house is like way in the back. Like it's a whole path. You couldn't even see it. And it was just like, it had carpet stairs, and like the bathroom wasn't that nice, and the kitchen was like a little dated, which all sound like obviously not good things, but it was so perfect. I was able to look past it all because it had like 16-foot ceilings with like all these massive skylights and like cool windows, and like the little garden patio was so sweet. The outside of the house was so sweet. It had like such amazing lighting, such a great vibe, and like the bedroom was like a loft kind of. I was in love with it. But someone else ahead of me got it, which totally get. This one was like really like, they were like, I didn't think I was going to get it because there were people like lined up viewing this house. Like it was a super good deal, and it was like a very good find. So anyway, the perfect thing will come my way. And yeah, I'm seeing a place tomorrow, and then I'm seeing a place on, I think, Saturday again, both in Venice. And I'm open to apartments now. Both places I'm seeing are apartments this week. So far. And yeah, I still have till March 1st. So I've got time. But I guess those are all my updates. And we can just get into the up. How to be less negative. I have said this before, I think, and I'll say it again. But I have learned, like, it just takes so much more effort to be happy than to not be happy, at least in my experience. Maybe not for everyone, but I feel like I've always been a person where like I have really learned the hard way that, at least in my experience, it takes actual effort and you have to kind of make an effort to be happy. I know there are some people out there who are naturally like so optimistic and happy, but I definitely am not one of them, and I feel like I've struggled with being happy, not in like a, I don't want to say like my whole life because that sounds super drama. I think I started like dealing with like a little depression and anxiety in like 8th grade, middle school is when I can like first remember when it started happening. And I feel like ever since then, like I've had to actively do things to make sure that I am happy. But I do think there is a recipe to mastering being like a more positive person and thinking less negatively. But I also like, I don't want to say like, oh, like just change your mindset and you won't be depressed anymore, because I think depression is a whole different thing, and that is a chemical imbalance in your brain. And like, don't be afraid to seek out like help from a therapist or seek out like medication. I've gone on anxiety medication like several times in my life, and it has helped me so much. I'm like so pro medication, even though like I obviously, like I talked about last week, had some negative side effects from anxiety medication. It helped me so much. But I really do think like, aside from like obviously like serious depression or like other like serious mental things you've got going on, having a positive mindset and positive outlook really does change everything. Like just changing how you view like the world and like things in your life. And even like, for example, like today I had to film a brand deal and then I have to record the podcast, and like I'm feeling a little sick and I've been feeling like a little overwhelmed, and like my first reaction was just to be like, oh my god, like I'm not in the mood to do this, like I don't want to tonight. And then I like checked myself. I was on the phone with my friend Viv, and I was like, I should be so thankful and so happy that I have a brand deal, and like I'm so lucky to be filming a brand deal. And like a few years ago this would be my dream, and a few years ago this would be my dream to have the podcast, and I'm so lucky that I have so many sweet besties from this podcast, and I'm so lucky that I like built this platform that I'm able to have a podcast and have social media and have brand deals. Like it's really like everything you can really like, I don't want to say everything, but most things you can really like flip a switch in your brain and change the way you're thinking about it to make it more positive. So I try to do that like throughout the day whenever I'm feeling like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to go to Pilates, like I don't want to do this. Like, first of all, I'm so lucky I have like the time to do it. I'm so lucky I have the means to do it. I'm so lucky that like my body works and like I'm able to go to the gym and do these things. And I think just like practicing the way you think about things, it definitely takes time, and I'm like still have not mastered it, but I think just practicing and like kind of checking yourself when like you're reacting to things throughout your day, like, oh, I don't want to do this, or like I'm so annoyed about this, trying to reframe your brain and like remind yourself that like this is actually like so lucky that you're able to do this, and I'm so lucky I get to go to work today or go to class today, or like I'm so lucky that I have money to go to the grocery store and run errands. Like I just think like that's so, I don't know, key to living like just a more positive life is just trying to feel like lucky and grateful for the things that you have and things you're able to do, and things like it's not that you have to do it, it's that you get to do it. I think that's really key. I also think a big thing that I've been really trying to work on is having the mindset that like, and I'm sure like you've seen this before, but like having the mindset that like things aren't happening to you, they're happening for you. And once again, I don't want to apply this to like every single aspect of life, but I have like thought back to so many things where it's felt like the end of the world, and there's been so many situations where like I've been so upset over things and like just taken like the victim complex and been like, oh my god, woe is me, like my life sucks, like why is this happening to me? But then like years down the line or months down the line, like I look back and I'm like, thank god that happened to me. I really do believe the universe has your back, and I think I like I have trouble with the saying like everything happens for a reason, because I think there's some things that don't happen for any reason that are just like so awful. I don't want to say it, but like I guess when I say everything happens for a reason, I'm more like losing a job, going through a breakup, like I don't know, like life changes like that, like not super extreme things, but like in that case I really do think like those things happen for a reason. Not to be so cliche, but I really do think like mindset is everything, and the way that you react to things that are happening to you is everything. And having a positive outlook on life, being grateful that you get to do things, and like believing that everything that is happening for you, not to you. If you actually apply those mindsets to life, I think you will see very positive changes in your life. And I need to get better about doing this again, because I feel like I haven't been the most I've been positive in some parts of my life, but I feel like, for example, like with social media and my job, I need to start being more positive again. Because like when I started TikTok, not to like bring it all back to TikTok and stuff right now, but like when I started TikTok, I was so positive, and like I really do believe in manifesting, and I need to make a vision board. I need to like get back into all this. But like before I even like really knew what manifesting was, like I just had such a positive mindset about TikTok. Like I downloaded TikTok during the pandemic, started posting 3 times a day. And I remember the day before I had started posting on TikTok, Celia and I were on a walk, and I was like getting into my car, she was getting into hers, and I was like, I want to do social media as a job, and like I'm gonna make this happen. I wish I had written it down. I swear I had, but I literally told her like, remember this conversation, like I'm going to make it happen, like there's no choice, like by this summer it's going to happen. I'm going to have a job in social media. And by that summer I think I had gotten to like 100K on TikTok. It wasn't like a full job yet, but like I was like growing a presence, and it's just crazy. Like I said it and then it happened, and I really think it's because I had such a positive outlook on it, and was like, just like there's no choice, it's like going to happen. And like I remember like, and I've said this like a million times before, but my dad, I remember one time he was like, I'll be like, because I'd always say to him like, I'm going to make money from TikTok, I'm going to get paid from TikTok. And he was like saying he'd be shocked if he ever saw me like make like $100. Like we would joke about it, and he'd be like, I'd be impressed if like you make $100. And obviously I've made a lot more, not saying that in like a flexy like oh my god, but like obviously I am fully supporting myself from TikTok. I've made a lot more than $100 over the course of the career. And I think it's because I had such a positive outlook on it, and had such like a, this is going to happen mindset. And I really do think like putting that energy out into the universe, like you will be rewarded. And then I think I can like also take this to like how I've been acting for the past like year. Like I have been so like, oh my god, I'm in my flop era, like this sucks, like I don't know what to post, like no one cares anymore. And like when I am like thinking and saying those things too, I think that the universe like reacts to that too. Like I really, I need to be more positive about everything, because I do think like I fully believe in manifesting, and like the energy you put out into the world, you will get back. And so this is inspiring me to be much more positive about my career, because what the hell, I've been super negative lately. Which brings me to my next point, which is, and I talk about this with my therapist a lot, and she actually has like a whole routine for me right now that I need to get back on doing, because I've been actually kind of bad about it, but is just to be careful with the way you talk to yourself about yourself, and just like the things you're saying out loud about your life. For me, I feel like I talk a lot in therapy about how I kind of feel like I'm a loser, and I've like felt this way for so long, and I've talked about this with you too, but I always just like try to explain to her like I just feel weird. Like I feel like a weird freak sometimes, and like sometimes I just like am like, I don't know, I'll have a social interaction, then I'll go home and just be like, wow, like everyone thinks I'm so weird. and I'll think about it for so long, and then sometimes I get so in my head that like I don't want to post or like do anything or go outside or go anywhere, because like I just convince myself I'm such a freak. I don't know where this comes from. Obviously it's like an insecurity issue I have like somewhere deep down, but my therapist has been like recommending, first of all, like I need to stop like saying these things out loud, because it doesn't help. Like I need to stop saying like I am weird, I am a loser, and also like saying like, obviously I've been like super feeling just insecure about myself and my body lately, because I feel like I just like don't recognize myself, but like speaking negatively to myself that way can't help. And also she'll like kind of catch me now when I say things like, I'm like, I always think like super all or nothing in my head. And so when I say like a statement, or even just like a oh, I can't do this, she's like, you can't say like you can't do this, because you can do it. And like by saying you can't do this, like that's not putting good energy out, and it's not like, your brain doesn't need to hear that. So what she has me do in the morning, and I haven't been good about it lately, and it does sound like a little like, oh my god, but it actually really works, is I was just talking to her about how I've been like really struggling, feeling like a loser, feeling embarrassed to post, feeling like no one cares. You've heard me like go on about this like for the past year, so sorry, it's just the theme of my life lately, but not anymore. See, that's me being negative right there, catching myself. Anyway, when I'm feeling that way, like when I wake up in the morning, like that's like, I really think, and I'll get into this later too, because that was another point I made like a little list, but I think like the morning, like the first few moments of your morning are so important and set the tone for your day, and there's science behind that. So instead of waking up being like, picking up my phone being like, oh, I'm a loser, I can't do this, no one wants to hear what I want to post today, I feel insecure, I don't like the way I look, what the hell, she has me pick a song, like pick like a song that makes you feel like really hyped up and like good about yourself, and then go into the bathroom or wherever you have a mirror and like just look at yourself, like get yourself in like a position where you can be like, okay, like I look good. Sometimes it takes longer than other days, mornings, and play the song and literally just look at yourself in the mirror. It sounds weird, but it actually helps. Look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, like I've got this. And look, honestly, like the idea of anyone ever walking in on me doing that like makes me like seriously feel super uncomfortable. Like I feel uncomfortable even sharing that I do this, but it was per professional's recommendation, and it really does help. She also recommended I write on my, like on a sticky note on my mirror, I am not a freak. I haven't done that yet. But like if you want to like write yourself reminders on the mirror as well, like even just like I've seen people do like positive affirmations, like putting them like on little sticky notes on the mirror. I feel like actually maybe I should do that. But like having like positive things that you see right when you wake up, or like even like your lock screen on your phone, just having like positive things and like setting a positive tone for the day can really help. But I really, negative self-talk is not good. And I think it's still, that all goes with like what you're putting out into the universe. And I'm like really realizing I need to work on that, because, well, I know I need to work on that. It's like a big issue. I feel like I talk so negatively about myself in all aspects of my life, like my looks, my career. Like I'm pretty hard on myself, and I've got to stop doing that because it's not fair to myself. And I think Kendall Jenner did this. I'm sure some other people have done this, but I think I saw her post about how like she has a picture of when she was like little on her bathroom mirror, and whenever she wants to like talk negatively about herself or like be hard on herself, she looks at that photo and like imagines like saying it to like that little girl, and then it kind of like stops her. Because like think about like when you want to be really negative about yourself, like think about saying that to like your 5-year-old self. Like obviously you would never do that. And so I tried to like work on being kinder to myself by thinking that way too. Maybe I'll put up like a few like reminders. I'm not a freak, I'm not a loser, I'm not weird, with a photo of myself alongside it. Perhaps that would help. This is another thing that I'm really working on. I feel like I can't even give advice on this, but I think I know that one way to have a lot more positive outlook, mindset in life is to be more present. And I talk about this all the time. I just am not that good at practicing it yet, but I think being present is like the key to being positive. Is just like living in the moment and like actually being here, feeling, experiencing the moment. And like as I'm saying this, like even right now I'm never in the moment. I don't think there's one time during the day that like I'm actually living in the moment. And I think that's because like I was born a warrior. Like I'm always, by the way, I said, I feel like it sounds like I just said I was born a warrior. I was born a worrier. W-O, not W-A, W-O-R-R-I-E-R. Just don't want people to think I was born a warrior. No, I was born like a worrier. And like I've always had really like anxiety, as you know. And so I feel like I'm always like either thinking about something that I did in the past that like I regret or I'm embarrassed about, or I'm like worrying about something in the future that like I can't control and I'm worried will happen. And if I just like sat down and lived in the present, I can't imagine how peaceful my life would be, because like right now in this exact moment, like everything's okay. I'm comfy in bed. I'm talking to my bestie. Ducky's laying on my bed being a good boy. The house is clean. I just had a yummy dinner. I'm going to finish a movie after this. Like it's just like a comfy, cozy night. But I don't know how to like stop my brain from like going everywhere. But I mean, I know logically, and like I'll tell you, and perhaps you'll find a better way to do this. But like obviously like worrying or dwelling on the past is not going to do anything. It's not going to change anything that's happened in the past, even like earlier today. Anything that's happened earlier today, like I can't change it now. It's already happened. And anything in the future, like that you're worried will happen or is going to happen, like most of the time, like you can't control what's going to happen in the future. Like the only thing you can control is like this exact moment right now. I am in control. I can choose, like I'm choosing to sit here and record and talk. I'm choosing to pick up my phone, but like those are things I can control right now, but I can't control anything that's going to happen in the future, and I can't take back anything that's happened in the past. I don't know how to deal with that really, and like actually accept that and like learn to be okay with that, but I do know like what I'm supposed to say and what we're supposed to do is like you can't like worry about things you can't control. It's not productive. You can just like, you can't control anything that's going to happen, but you can control the way you react to it, which is true. Like you are always in control of your reaction to things and how you handle things. But I don't know. I wish I had like a better, I think like I would be such a happy person if I just figured out how to be more present. I really don't know. I will say my therapist had me make a list on my phone of like everything that I can control. And like, I'm going to be honest with you, I actually haven't made the list yet. I was going to lie on this episode and say like I'd made the list and it's been so helpful. What the hell? What is wrong with me? No, I haven't made the list yet. I imagine it would be very helpful. And like sometimes it's been helpful in the sense that like sometimes I go through my head and my brain in the morning and like I am like, yeah, these are things I can control, but I do need to actually make the list. And I think maybe we should all make a list. Anyone who's worried about not having control, because like whenever you're feeling out of control, you can just look at your phone and be like, okay, I have control of this, 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 and this. And then it kind of like settles you down. You're like, okay, I do have control of things. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how to be really, I'm working on being more present, I guess. I at least like I'm aware of it. So there's that. I'd like to say probably meditation helps with being more present, right? That's the practice of like being present and being in the moment. So maybe I should get back into meditation. I used to do meditation like a lot during the pandemic, like peak COVID, when I had like this crazy strict morning routine, which I want to get back to. Like I would meditate every morning. And then I'd also do like a sleep meditation too. And I feel like I was less anxious back then. So maybe meditation is the key to being more present. I don't know. I'll ask my therapist this Friday. And, well, you're listening to this on Friday. So perhaps you're listening while I'm in therapy right now. I have therapy at 11 a.m. every Friday. So anyway, I will ask her how you can be more present in life, and I will get back with a professional advice because I don't really know. I mean, I know what you're supposed to do, but I don't know how to do it when you're not good at doing it. So, but definitely work on being more present. I just need to figure that out. I think another thing that really helps with like, these are my next few things on my list are more like, I guess, kind of like self-care things, but I think the way, like, I think self-care is a huge part of obviously being less negative, because having like a decluttered space, a happy mind, a healthy body, obviously all help with being less negative. So when this is one thing I did today, I told you I felt like really overwhelmed this morning. I think because I was sick and there's like just a lot of random things I have to do. For like, I had to film a brand deal, had to record a podcast, I had to donate clothes, I had to clean out my fridge, I had to clean out my car, I had to transfer money from one bank account to the other, but first I have to call the bank and do this whole thing. I had to do something for my accountant, I had to pay a parking ticket. Like, there's just like all these things piling up that I have to do, and I like was kind of feeling like I was gonna explode, and I've been putting a lot of them off, and it's making me feel super anxious. And so I got to a point today where I kind of felt paralyzed because I was just like, oh my god, there's all these tiny things I have to do. I'm putting them all off. I don't feel good. I already like feel sick, and now I'm just feeling like anxious that I have all this stuff to do. So instead of freaking out, I think one thing that really helps with being like less negative is like decluttering your brain. And by decluttering your brain, I mean, like, I think this is something I want to do. I need to get better about doing every single day, is just in the morning or whenever you're feeling overwhelmed. I think I'm going to start trying to do it every morning. Make a list of everything in your brain that your brain thinks you have to do, even just like texting people back, responding to emails, whatever. And then you can lay it all out on paper, and your brain doesn't feel like it has to hold on to it. Because I know, at least the way my brain works, like when I have a lot of things going on and like feel like I have like a lot of things to do or whatever, or even if it's like things I'm stressed about, maybe it's not things I have to do, but it's things I'm stressed about, putting it down on paper helps so much, because it's like, okay, my brain doesn't have to hold on to this anymore. It's on paper, it's out there, and it just, I don't know, something about putting it on paper or putting it even like in your notes app, or like actually today I think I did it on like a Google Doc, like because it had like a checklist there. It helped so much, because then my brain like felt more at peace, because it's not like struggling to hold on to all these things to remember it. I think like something signals to my brain like, okay, it's all good, it's written down, it's on paper, it's fine, I don't have to worry about it. And so I really think like it's a good practice every morning to like write everything down you have to do, everything that's bothering you, and just leave it there. Let your brain have it. Or you can be super extreme too. Sometimes when I'm feeling super extreme and like there's a lot of negativity in my life, I'll write down everything negative in my life and then burn it. I did that going into the new year, and it felt really good. It feels really drama. It feels really like, and it helps. So I was talking about this earlier, but I really do think like the morning and like the first 10 minutes of your day really sets the tone of your day. So I think having like a strict morning routine and being really mindful of the things you're doing when you first wake up can really help you have a more positive mindset during the day. And like I said, there is science behind this. So like, I think like, first of all, once again, I am not practicing what I'm preaching right now. I have been like not good about getting out of bed, especially now that TikTok's back after the long 12 hours it's been gone. I've been like really scrolling in bed, bad about whatever, but like on the weekend, whatever, do what you need. But during the week, like when you wake up, don't lay in bed, get up. Like seriously, I think that's so key. I have such a better day when instead of sitting in bed, I get up. And I'd like to say like, oh, like you can read in bed, whatever, anything. But I don't even think like when I read in bed, then I stay in bed forever. I really think set an alarm when you wake up, when your alarm goes off, get up, go to the bathroom, wash your face, brush your teeth, go make a coffee, get up. You'll feel so much better than laying in bed, especially laying in bed scrolling for half an hour, however long you scroll. It sets the tone so good for your day to just like get up and start it and feel productive immediately, rather than like sitting on your phone scrolling being like, oh my god, or just sitting in bed being like, oh, like fuck, I have all this to do. Like it feels a lot better to just like get up and get going. And if you're able to, I really think having like morning movement early in the morning, like when you are first waking up, even if it's like a 10-minute walk or like getting up. And you know what I used to do? This is another thing I want to start doing again. Stretching. I used to do stretching in the morning, and they have so many like nice like 5-minute, 10-minute videos on YouTube where you can look up like morning stretch or like morning yoga, like quick, easy, like just to wake you up. When I was like really stressed in law school, there was one video, I'm not going to remember what the name of it now. I haven't watched it forever, but it was like a morning, like literally like wake up with me yoga video, and it was like pretty short. I think it really was like 5 or 10 minutes, but you were supposed to like do it like right when you stumbled out of bed, and it is just such a nice calm way to wake up. And I decided actually starting tomorrow I'm gonna start doing that every morning again because it feels really good. But yeah, I really think like setting how you start your day is so important to how your day is going to be, how your week's going to be, how your month's going to be, how your year is going to be. So be intentional and mindful and set a strict morning routine of like whatever makes you feel good. I know for myself, if you want an example of like my like really good morning routine when I'm feeling good, it would definitely be like, if I'm doing all this, I know I'm going to have a good morning. Wake up, don't look at my phone, drink water immediately, and then get up and do this morning stretch yoga video that I've got to re-find. And I'll share it on the Girl House Pod Instagram when I find it. But do the morning stretch video, then go for a little walk with an audiobook. Still like no looking at phone really, but like just like some good morning movement. Go home, make breakfast first, then have coffee, because apparently it's like really bad hormone balance to have coffee on an empty stomach, which I told you I'm like really trying to work on this year. Have your breakfast, have your coffee, read with your breakfast coffee, and then like sit down and do what I was saying earlier about like write everything out that's bothering you, stressing you out, get it all out of your brain, write some things down that you're grateful for. Do a morning meditation. You know what? Let's throw a morning meditation in. Then do your skincare. Get ready to conquer the day. I guess that's those are my tips for a good morning routine. I'm not really practicing like nearly half of them, but I'm going to start practicing them again and see how I feel. Because yeah, I really, starting your morning, yeah. I need to be better about this. This is really making me realize and like check myself. But yeah, I guess like my last like few things are just like, I really think like screen time makes you like, the more screen time you have, the less good you're going to feel, and the harder it's going to be positive, especially like with social media. It's so easy to, when you're scrolling, compare yourself to other people's lives and where other people are at in their lives, or what other people have that you don't have, or how other people look that you don't look like it's just like, I think like the further we can stay away, obviously social media is my job, so I don't, but like I do think it's like the further we stay away from social media, like consuming our entire day, like the happier and healthier we will be. And so I think like really practicing like lowering your screen time and like having just other hobbies that can like keep you busy are and like make you happy and like make you feel good, where you can get that like serotonin from somewhere else, are really good. So like mine, I love to read obviously, but I also like love Mod Podging. I know it's technically Mod Podge, but I'll never say that. I'll always say Mod Podging, where I go and like I get a bunch of vintage Playboy magazines and I Mod Podge collage, and like that keeps my hands busy and takes my mind off things. When I've been really down bad, I've like taken up knitting before, which is also really relaxing. It's just like find like a hobby that makes you feel good that's not being on your phone, and I think you will feel like it's just nice to have something else like to de-stress with than like scrolling on my phone. But like I said, I haven't been good about that lately, so I don't know. And last but not least, and I will say this, I've said this so many times before, but I really believe it, just like having some sort of movement in your day, I think is so key to being more positive. And I know I've told the story like a million times before, but like every single time growing up, whenever I was like upset or stressed about something or sad about something or mad about something, my mom would always force me to go for a walk, and she'd always say like, you'll feel better after we walk, let's just go for a walk. And like I would never want to go. Like I'd always want to just like sit in bed and like be upset. But every single time, like halfway through the walk, like I'd start to feel better, and by the time I got home, like nothing would feel that serious anymore, and I would just feel like just in such a better mindset and such a better space. And so I think like finding it doesn't have to be a walk, but like I think walks are great because like especially outside, like fresh air, and like I like to walk with an audiobook, and it just completely takes my mind off of everything. And I like when I'm feeling like stressed or like negative mindset, like of course I don't want to get up and go for a walk. I want to sit in my room and scroll on my phone and like rot in my bed. But if you can get yourself to do some daily movement every day, I really think like there's science behind this too. Like moving is very good for you and very good for your brain, and it forces your brain to produce serotonin, which is key to being happier. Of course, those are happy chemicals in your brain. So I guess those are all my tips on being less negative, which I'm really realizing like I need to make some changes with my own habits in life, because I'm not really following what I'm preaching right now. But we can all work on it together and do little check-ins on how we're doing. I think we should all practice being more positive in 2025. But anyway, hopefully we can all work on being a little more positive in our day-to-day lives, and very excited because next week Celia will be back, so I can't wait to have her back, and I'm sure you can't wait too. And we will see you next week. I also want to bring confessions back, but the confession email is like confessionswithease right now, which doesn't make sense. So I'm going to make a new email and I will post it on the Girl House Pod Instagram story, so you can submit your confessions if you want them to be featured in a future Girl House Pod app. But anyway, I love you so much. I'm always here for you, and I will see you next week.